G'day viewers and welcome back to the channel. This time I'm actually going to start removing some wood from this wishing well. Stick around. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. I hope I can teach you something. You like what you see and consider subscribing. Now, on the previous two episodes, I started on the bottom end, but then I had to make a framework so that I could easily mount a router on the top so that I clean up the top surface. This time, that's what we're doing. But before we get into that, we really need to do something about that bark. So I've taken the straps off, and you can see some of the bark's already fallen off because it has this sort of decay inside it. Need to kind of clean that and stick it back on. Without doing too much damage to the bark itself. And I'm just going to rub them with just a green scouring pad. As I said, it's just to get all that loose stuff off. So the glue has something to bite too. And I'm also going to do the same thing on the log. Then we get out the liquid nails, maxi nails. It's been sitting on my bench for months. Go to town. Well, I hope you caught all that, because I won't be doing it again. Now, unfortunately, the largest router bit I could find that wasn't going to take 6 weeks to get here is 1 inch. It's going to take a while, but let's get it loaded up and get into it. Now you probably noticed I have masking tape right around perimeter, and I haven't gone right out to the edge. Two reasons for that. As soon as the router hits this bark, it's likely to just chip the life out of it. So that's there just so it's a bit neater, but it seems now, because that's as deep as I can go, and I still need to go another 15 millimeters. So now I need to go right around the whole perimeter, cut it all down to the same level. Then I have to take these pieces out and cut them down 25 millimeters, put it all back together and cut again, because that's as far as I can go on the router, and that's pushing it, and that only reaches to there. Here is the tip of the week. When you have to remove a piece of timber like this, and you want the holes to line back up, first of all make sure they're going to. Then leave one screw out, so you can screw that onto there. And then you can actually get down and see that the other screw goes into the hole. Unfortunately, I just put that on backwards, but the screw's lined up. Here we go. And one by one, put your screws back in. But if you're like me and you haven't pre-drilled the holes in the base timber, well then you have to take your screws back out. Not all the way. See it dropping down? Now you can pull it back in a turn or two. Same on the other side. Done. Now I'm sure someone's going to tell me there's an easier way, but that's fine. That's the way I do it. Someone wants to give me an easier way, feel free. Leave me a comment. Alright, all back together, ready for the next run. Now, I don't know whether you noticed, the router didn't actually cut along this edge. If you look closely there, let's see if I can get you closer. You can see just there, it's not cut, it's broken, because the router just didn't have enough room to get over that way. So when I put it back together, I actually shifted the top frame over just a little bit. So it's now going to cut on all four corners. Well, corners, all four edges. As you can see, it's kind of getting dark, so I'm going to have to call it a day. But that's still not final cut. Notice, just here, there's still a little bit to go. Just a tiny bit. I may even leave that. Yes, it looks like a set of stairs. Once I hit that with 36 grit, and then an 80 grit, that'll flatten right out. Okay, it's a new day. Let's give this a final cut, see if we can't get some of these steps out of it. my luck, got that much to go. and the brush has burnt out on me. Well, that kind of puts an end to this one for now. Well, I have some very sad news. The router didn't make it. I bought some new bushes for it, put them in, and it wound up and then died. Now, having said that, you notice here is all, well, scorched. There's another spot there. And there's a transistor actually missing. The leads are still there, but the transistor itself is gone. And apart from that, I did some checking and one of the windings inside is gone. I'm getting no reading off it whatsoever. So I went and bought a new one. Now the good news is the base, well, the whole machine is exactly the same. It's identical to the old one, which is over a decade old. So all I had to do was change over the machine part of it. I could leave the base where it is, because there are alterations that I've done to this, mainly this depth gauge here. Totally different on the other one. But the bad news is, to change the base, I needed to take the bit out of the chuck. So I was keeping it like that so I didn't have to do that. Unfortunately, I had to take it out, so now I got to start set up all over again. I have to go and do another layer because, yeah, it's sat and dug in. So now I've got to get rid of that. That's not going to sand out. I'm not going to bore you with that. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll bring you back when I'm doing something different. Well, this is strange. It feels smooth. It looks like here and here. It looks like there's a massive step there, but yes, there's the tiniest of steps there, but it's not that bad. But clearly, it doesn't look flat. Hang on, let me get you around here, get you a better look. And look at that. So now, I've got the DA sander out with some 60 grit. I'm going to hit it with that. Let's see what happens. Seem to be doing much. Looks like I need some 36. Let's give these a go. Well, finally, it's smooth. I'm not going to say it's flat, because, well, I don't think it is, but it's smooth. That only took a packet of 5 40 grit discs. That's okay. Now we need to turn it over, but before we do that, I'm going to mark out across the top where the slot has to be and the 2 uprights, because I don't want to, now that I've got that nice, I don't want to go and put screws where I don't want them. So I'm going to grab a pencil and a tape, and we're going to mark a line across the centre and plot out some points along that line. Alright, find the widest point, which, yeah, is about there. That's 350 across, so 175 is right in the middle. Now, widest point this way. It's pretty much there, pretty much dead in line with the sides. So, I measure from the outside wall, the inside there. That's 240. So if we mark that 240 there, 240 there, that's our centre line. Then mark that. There. Okay, now I want these holes to be about 1 inch wide, so, but we don't want it too close to the edge, so say 15 millimeters from the edge. About there is where the upright's going to sit, so that's 28 millimeters from the edge. About there. And the slot in the middle, I want it to be at least half of the width. So it's 400, so we want it about 200. So here's the middle. There. And 100 that way. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 points we need to drill out. There we go. Now I can release it, bottom, turn it over, screw it down under these holes here. Well, that's the top done. Well, for now. I still obviously have to bore out the holes for the uprights, and I have to cut the slot. But now that I've got the holes there, well, I'm on the right track. But now, before I go any further, I have to flip it over so that I can hollow out the bottom end. That's going to happen on the next episode. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, hit that like button, thumbs up down below. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when the next one's coming. And I'll see you on the next one.